So question 3007, we've had a few questions on how do you get that. So what I did was change the interval back to 1 second. Set the time of day in log scale, which will show you the graph. And then again, it's using this axis to find this new point.
Do you want to keep recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't get what I'm supposed to be seeing there. So the peak changes when we use logarithmic, the log scale. Because it changes how it's looking at packets. Right? Rather than going by its normal format, we take all the information, all packets and TCP errors in a logarithmic scale to compare the packets in a different way. So yeah, you can use the y-axis to scroll enough to find that new peak and the answer to it. Question 3008 has us looking at a file that we've already downloaded, set client dying, and has us going back to the graph. But we're using the Y field, the sum Y field now. We're going to add some things into the graph and find out which way had the most traffic. Let's make a new share into Wireshark. Here is the graph to start. So what we want, looking at the question, we would add a display filter for the IP. So let's remove these for now by using that little minus button. I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a person who would like to join. Still okay? Of course, it's okay. So I'll call this source. Call the other one desk, just because. Our display filter would be ip.src equals 172.16.1.10. And make that a little bigger. And then we'll do ip.dst equals the same IP address, 172.16.1.10. Then on the y-axis, will you change this to sum? Because we wanted to do some math for us. Because we want to find out which had the most traffic. So I'm going to take the destination and change the color. I'll make it red so it stands out. And in the Y field, I'll add tcp.len. So looking at the question, we're going to use the Y field. We're going to add up values to see which way had more traffic from this specific host. That's why in the display filter, I put ip.src for source equal the IP address. And then I made a second for ip.dst equal and the same IP address. So which way had more traffic? When traffic was coming from the host or going to that host? You can click on the square and you'll be able to change color. We'll leave the two at line. The y-axis was changed from packets to sum. And on both, we add the field tcp.len because that is a field in the packets that can be added together. So once you have these settings up, then enable them by clicking on these two buttons. And you should be able to see which line went higher. And the one that goes higher, that's the answer, whether it was source or destination. So did this host send more information or did it receive more information? Did you hit enable? Because right now I have the two disabled. That's why there is no lines in my chart. So you see, as soon as I clicked on mine, I got something. So InfoSec Miles, were you able to click on enable, maybe zoom out a bit? You should be able to see your two lines. Yeah, that looks all right. You can always hit this reset button right off to the side, and it'll reset the chart back. Yeah, no lines. How strange. Yeah, if I do that, you'll see that my lines appear. I'm getting one line, but not the other. Did you change the colors? So another thing that you could do is enable one at a time. See how high it goes, then disable and enable the next one. So try that, InfoSec Miles. Have one on, but not the other. See how high it goes. Then disable that and enable the other. Okay, so you see mine when I enable it. I get the flow. And then the disable. Highlight. Deselected and reselect. Everything is fine now. Cool. As long as it's fine. Question 3009. It can be a pain in the butt with the graphs. An odd fact is if you try to save a graph, it just saves the picture itself. And sometimes it misses the X and Y axis. Kind of funny. And there's a menu button that I am not seeing. Okay. Anyway, question 3009. We're continuing the use of the graphs. We're going to open up a different file that we've used before, HTTP download good. And we're going to graph out the sequence numbers. Now, with TCP, sequence numbers should grow as the conversation continues. That number should be incrementing as more data comes in and out. Any drop would indicate a problem in the transfer process. So going back to our statistics IO graph for this file, we want to find out what acknowledgement packet number created the dip in communication. So we don't need these anymore. We're going to change this field from TCP/LAN to SEQ. And then enable it. And now you should have a graph very similar to this. So all I did was I removed the display filter that we had previously. I changed the name of it for now. I kept the sum. And I changed the field. We had it previously in len. Now we switch it to SEQ for sequence. So what this graph does is showing us the sequence numbers as they are as they were recorded in the packets themselves. What we're after is what packet caused the dip. And again, it's the packet number. What this graph is telling us is that there was a problem in the data transfer process. A file or files were being transferred, and there was a problem. You're taming the shark, InfoSec Miles. Exactly. Just gotta find the right place to scratch it.
Are you done recording, Irvin?
Sure, we'll put a pause here.